Today's topic is perception reaction time, what it is and why it impacts law enforcement officers. I'm Steve Cerbalic, and I'm a panel attorney with AsCops in Arizona. We've all seen the headlines. A police officer is involved in a shooting and the suspect was shot in the side or in the back. Talking heads on TV are upset and protesters march in the streets. What many civilians don't realize is that shootings almost always involve rapidly evolving situations, and what the officer perceived and reacted to at the time that the officer decided to pull the trigger might have changed before the shots landed. Today, I'll talk about what perception reaction time is, how perception reaction time impacts officers' actions, and how to best incorporate perception reaction time issues into statements. Please note that this is a general topic summary, not legal advice. So if you have questions about your specific circumstance, ask for help. So first, let's define perception reaction time. Perception reaction time includes two parts. It's the amount of time that it takes for an individual to recognize a situation requires an action, combined with the time that it takes to actually respond in some way. Everyone deals with perception reaction issues every single day. For example, traffic lights. If we see a light change from green to yellow or even to red, or more dramatically, if we see a vehicle in front of us have the brake lights turn on and stop suddenly, perception reaction time includes the time that we need to recognize the change added to the time that it takes for us to process this information and hit our own brakes. So now that we have perception reaction time defined, let's talk about how it impacts police officers. The example of perception reaction time that's most impactful involves the time that it takes for an officer to respond to a deadly threat, a shoot scenario. Study after study has found that suspects who catch officers unaware can move incredible distances in the time that it takes for an officer to draw his or her weapon, get on target, and fire. Similarly, when an officer perceives a threat, there is a period of time between the threat and the actual action of pulling the trigger, which means that the suspect's position can, and often does, change during the perception reaction time. Which brings us to officer statements. Courts, including the Supreme Court, have consistently held that officers should not be judged based upon 20/20 hindsight, but should be judged based upon whether their actions were objectively reasonable. And what is reasonable objectively is that officers, like everyone else, make decisions and take actions that involve perception reaction time. So when you're giving a statement, make sure that you are specific and that you articulate that what you describe was what you perceived at the time that you decided to shoot. That's what you're accountable for, your perception and your subsequent actions, which can explain why suspects are shot in different areas, even in the back, when officers were aiming at center mass as they are trained to do. Finally, as always, if you are under internal investigation, seek advice from your union representation or a lawyer like me. We are familiar with concepts like the impact of perception reaction time, and we can help you articulate your actions clearly and understandably. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe for more law enforcement lesson videos. Videos come out every Sunday afternoon. Thanks for watching. I'm Steve Cerbalic. Stay safe out there.